excited about Collegiate Club Nationals 2025. There's a few housekeeping items that I really want to start off with. The first off is club renewals for 2025 are open. Renewals act on the calendar year schedules. So anything renewed today will be renewed through the end of this year and then all of 2025. So be sure to get those in. If you aren't receiving emails in updating you to letting you know that you need to renew the club, just reach out to me with your member number, because it's likely your club president maybe graduated last semester and you're looking for, we need to update the club profile to show the new club president. Moving right along, again, we're very excited about Club Nationals 2025. It's going to be in March this year. I won't steal any more of Andre's introduction, but it's going to be hosted by Clash Endurance this year, which is a very well established and world-class event company out of Florida. They host events at NASCAR tracks, Miami, which is where we're heading at the Homestead Speedway, and as well as Daytona Speedway as well. With that said, I know there's been some questions about past races, that how hilly the bike course is and stuff like that, but I guarantee you that a Florida race is going to be a very flat bike course, which is very beginner friendly and fantastic. Without, I don't know if Tim, you want to say anything more, but without any further ado, I can pass it over to Andre.
No, I just kind of build on what you said, Chad. If there's any year that we should really be excited and energized about what's ahead of us with this kind of lead time, I think it's now. We start thinking about coming back from the start of the school season, and club members are being added, and teams are starting to look at opportunities and things they can do to really excite the membership. This is certainly going to be one of them. I've had a chance to review with you and Andre and his team the course. I think it's going to be an amazing course. I think it's going to be an unbelievable social environment. So I think all the things you want and expect and need to have with the Collegiate Championship, we're going to see delivered here. And so I'll just add that and then let Andre move forward as he's set up and designed to do.
Yeah. Hey, welcome everybody. I know we've got a great turnout tonight. I've got Connery from my team has joined the call as well. She's going to be kind of lead point for a lot of you all with your questions on event logistics, getting there, where to stay, all things Collegiate Nationals, which again, we are as an event company super excited and honored to be selected to host this event. We really want to elevate Collegiate Nationals to shine a light on the amazing athletes, just all the cool stories that come through with all the team camaraderie, the rivalries that go with it. I mean, college sports is something unique to the U.S. that they don't have in other parts of the world. So we really want to kind of lean into that and really blow out this national championship for Collegiate. So on that note, I do have a few things that we'll kind of walk through and share. Chad has them. He'll send out direct links after this call for all of you. And then we'll let you in on a few of the marketing things that we want to do, as well as just breaking up the logistics to work with smaller groups instead of the group at large in a town hall like this, so we can really address the specific needs of schools coming from the various conferences and regions. So and then Connery has our video, I want to say last year, but it was just March 2024, just a few months ago. We are gearing up for our Daytona event, which is coming up December 6th, 7th, and 8th. Once again, we are USAT's long course national championship, as well as sprint tries, kids try. So all in, we're about 3,500 athletes for our event here in Daytona. So with that, Connor, if you can go ahead and share your screen. I'm hoping the sound comes through. So again, you guys can just see some of the images of what we did this last March down in Homestead at the Speedway.
Okay. Let me know if you guys can hear it.
Yeah, I think it doesn't like the loop of the audio from your microphone. So we've got no audio from the video, which is okay. That's okay. We can just play through the video. I can kind of do my best Rick Allen play-by-play overview. Again, this last year in Miami, we we hosted the T100 there. Some of you may have seen that. We also hosted for World Triathlon the Continental Championships for Elite Juniors, Elites, and Elite Para. So we were the final qualifying stop for the para triathletes from the Americas region, so North America, South America, and everything in between, to make their way to the Paris Olympics. So we actually had 5 athletes qualify with us in Miami to punch their ticket to the Paris, which was awesome for us. Real proud moment. So again, just kind of showing you, this is an overview of this last year, all the different athlete types that we hosted. It was a full weekend of racing. I'll just run through the overview of the weekend that we have for you all. So we will be hosting draft legal racing, male and female, as separate events on Friday. Saturday will be the Olympic distance in the morning. That's the bulk of your teams will make up that start field. And then Saturday afternoon will be the mixed relays. Sunday will be our age group event. So we have a sprint triathlon as well as what we call Miami distance, which is a bit longer than Olympic distance, not quite 70.3. That's a 1 mile, 30 mile, and an 8 mile option. So those of you who may have friends or family coming in town to watch or also participate, well, we'll have something for everyone racing with us that weekend. So just kind of give you guys some of the imagery, let you understand what we're trying to do. We'll also run through, Connery put together some slides, but I know we've already had several teams inquire about traveling. How do I get there? Where do I stay? What do we do for the team? So those of you, I would do a show of hands if we were in a classroom setting. Who's ever been to a NASCAR race? Put your hand up. But I can't see everybody. So we'll just go ahead and say that some of you may have been, but NASCAR and racing speedways, RV camping is inherently built in as part of it. They build these magical cities. Daytona hosts over 200,000 people for the 500. And actually, if you guys are watching TV this weekend, the NASCAR Cup race is in Homestead, Miami this weekend. So you guys will be able to see on the big screen exactly what the venue looks like, watching the race cars race around for their biggest weekend of the year. But big part of it is RV camping. So we are going to, for the first time in Miami, activate the Geico RV lot, which is right outside of turn 2. So what does that mean for you all? There's 140 RV camping spots or sites, which are all paved. They have water and power connections. So they'll accept any size of pop-up trailer or massive RV. So you can hook up water, hook up power. And we are working with a number of RV rental partners for a super economical way for you all to be able to stay on site. Essentially, it's like the Airbnb or the VRBO of the RV world, where you can contact these suppliers based on your budget or your needs. You want to share an RV with 2 people, 4 people. You want to spend a lot of money and get a massive marble floor Prevost that you want to share with 8 people, whatever your budget allows. But they will be able to deliver those on site, have them hooked up and ready for you when you guys show up at the venue. So you'll be able to stay on property. And again, with the water and the power connection, that means you have air conditioning in there, toilets, there's restroom facilities on site, as well as shower facilities. So I think that will be appealing to a large number of the groups coming down from the kind of most economical place to stay. Part of it as well, we're going to lean into is, you can see here on the map where the RV camping is on the lower left side, right outside of turn 2. From there, it's just about a quarter of a mile walk to get to the tunnel, which will take you to the infield. Infield is where transition is located, expo registration, as well as swim start at the lake. So you'll be staying, a 10-minute walk from transition if you are staying in the RV lots. We're going to try to have some fun with the registration. So if we have, our University of Wisconsin Badgers are taking up 6 RV spots, we're going to try to have you guys all racked or camping side by side by side. So it'd be a really great spot for your team to engage. Connery's had some really good ideas for engagements and stuff that we're going to do just outside of just triathlon racing. So think, bonfires in the RV lot. We will have a Jumbotron, and this national championship for triathlon happens to be at the end of March, which is during March Madness. So we're thinking to activate some March Madness watch parties so you guys can come and watch your team. We're really going to do some things with bringing food trucks in. So it'll be a fresh change for you all to be able to stay, race, camp, hang out, and have everything provided for you there at that one venue. Connor, is this, I'm sorry, is this the first slide or the second one? I'll have you kind of flip through as we're going. All right, so, and again, we'll share all this out, and this is already posted up on our website for some of our preferred lodging partners. If you guys book through us, we do have preferred rates with these hotels. For those of you who don't want to or not interested in RV camping, we also have links for booking through RV Easy or RV Share if you're looking to kind of shop around and see what's available. And we are looking and working on a third RV rental partner. And we also have some additional hotels listed on the bottom. Again, this will be all shared out with you all directly, so you guys can start working on your travel plans, which is great that we've just talked about where you're going to sleep, looking at the rates. The easiest way, if you're flying in Miami International Airport, is about 40 minutes from the Speedway, which is great. Miami International has direct flights to just about every major city and minor city in the U.S. The other big question we've already had some of you asking is how are we going to get all of our bikes there? So in the unfortunate demise of Tri-Bike Transport, we have connected. I know some teams here have used them, Wesley, in the past, but Pro Bike Express, they are a turnkey solution for bike transport to bring your bikes from your either local shop or potentially even from your campus directly to Homestead Miami to the Speedway. And then obviously they'll take those bikes post race from Miami and deliver them back to your home base location. Wes, we've been on numerous calls with him. They have a pretty ingenious racking system that they use inside of 26-foot box trucks, so they can fit about 50 bikes securely into a box truck. They do have space for athletes if you guys want to leave kind of a duffel or a little gear bag with your bike, obviously marked with your name and contact information. But all those logistics he is working on, and obviously some of it will be demand driven with where they end up picking up bikes. But for some of the West Coast teams, Midwest, this will be a very economical and a hassle-free solution for you guys to get all those bikes down to and from Miami for this national championship. Again, his contact info will be in this presentation, which you guys will all get directly. His pricing will vary. I'm not going to give you guys exact quotes because driving bikes in from California is very different than bringing them down from Georgia. So you guys will work through those directly with him. Any other issues or concerns, or if you guys have a team van or a trailer that you may be driving down, again, we have parking space for days at the Speedway, so we can accommodate those for some of the larger teams, maybe from the East Coast that are hoping to drive down or have somebody trailer bikes down or rent your own truck to come down. So again, your contact person for that from the Clash Endurance side will be Connery, who's on this call. She understands the event in and out, as well as the venue. So we want to make this the biggest collegiate club national championship ever hosted by USAT. So we're trying to piece together the puzzle to make it as easy for the athletes to come down. Again, in this presentation, you'll see travel by air, travel by road, depending on when you guys are coming in and how you're getting in. But all of that is included in this that we'll share after this call. Connor, if you want to jump to the next slide. This is, we'll share some more information and details, but we have a partnership we're about to launch with Mumu Cycling Apparel. They are Florida based, but the owner, Jan Halen, he's a Belgian race car driver. He actually drives Rolex 24. He's driven Daytona. He's an avid cyclist and triathlete. Just great guys, really great apparel partner for cycling and custom tri kits. Erica is a former pro cyclist. She does a lot of the design and the team custom kit orders. So again, we'll share this all with you, but I know as you guys are bringing new members into your team, the freshmen, sophomore people coming in that are new to the club, and you guys are possibly looking for custom kits or a new provider at an economical price point for those tri kits, just reach out to Mumu. Again, this will be included. They have, free artwork designs, consultations. We're using them for our merchandise. That's how highly we think of them. So wanted to include that for you all. Again, we know everybody wants to fly their flag and show their colors at Collegiate Nationals. So just reach out to the folks at Mumu and they can help you. They have a fairly quick turnaround time as well, but we just wanted to get this info into your hands ASAP if you guys wanted to use those kits for races throughout the year. Next slide is some of the preferred training areas. I know the date of nationals, depending on the school where you are, may or may not coincide with your spring breaks, and depending on what your travel times are coming in. So this is just a quick handy dandy. If you guys are there, you want to swim ahead of time the week prior or post with where the public pool is. About 10 minutes from the Speedway is Homestead Bayfront Park. We just lost you, Connery. Back on the slides. Yep. So Homestead Bayfront Park is a public beach about 10 minutes from the Speedway. And then I put in here, and I also created as the Strava route if you guys want to download it. Literally right out of the south of the Speedway, out of the back gate. There's a 2-lane road that there is absolutely zero traffic on. The road basically dead ends at the nuclear power plant there. So it's only for employee shift turnover. So if you guys want a super quiet and safe place to train while you guys are down in Homestead, this is right out of the back door of the RV lot. So super easy, just out back place you can train, won't have to worry about traffic. Wanted to make sure we conveyed that to you all. So as you plan your travel times down or your trainings or any of that stuff. So all taken care of. We'll slide Connery to the next slide. I think, is that our last slide?
Yeah, that's the last slide.
Okay, so we showed you guys video overview. These slides you guys will get out directly into your inboxes for you to share amongst your teams. Now I wanted to kind of step ahead to an important piece that we'll be working on in the lead up to this event. And obviously event weekend is sort of the marketing and positioning of this as a marquee national championship for collegiate athletes. We know with LA 2028 around the corner, just 4 years down the road, coming out of that draft legal pipeline that some of our collegiate athletes will be racing, we'll be looking to identify some of those athletes in Homestead at nationals that may be towing the line in LA 2028 or beyond. But that's not the only thing we're looking for. We have a host of amazing athletes, amazing stories, amazing schools where you guys are, it's a monumentous effort to get all of you and your bikes down to nationals to compete. So what we'll be sending out is a link to essentially your story. We're looking to identify unique athletes, unique stories within our collegiate national athlete population. So if you overcome adversity, if you guys are triple majoring, if you guys and your coaches think it's something we should know about, please let us know, because that's going to help us really sing the praises of this event on both the local front in Florida and in Miami, as well as on the sponsorship front and the media highlight piece. The reason I say that, she's not on this call, but Blair LaHaye is head of our PR and media. She spent a number of years, probably 10 plus, as the head of PR and media at Ironman. So a lot of the human interest stories and things that you saw on NBC and CBS really showcasing why our sport is so beautiful is something that we want to do on the collegiate front. And we can show the world that, triathlon doesn't have to be slugging to the finish line at midnight after 16 or 17 hours. It can be short, it can be fast, it can be healthy, it can be for young people. So what we need, what we're asking Clash Endurance and what USAT is asking as well is help us on that front. So we sent out a quick Google form, share it out with your athletes, put some information in there so we can identify those athletes, so we can really put this event in front of the marquee sponsors and the companies and the brands that really want to align with the sport of triathlon, so we can continue to up the bar and do bigger and better things and help you grow your clubs and help you get exposure for your teams and for your schools. So that's what we're looking to do from a marketing standpoint. And this isn't something that we want to start doing on February, March 1st. This is something that we want to be working on through the fall. And as we get into sort of the holiday season, we want to stay ahead of it. So I think I touched on most of the main points. One other point, I know we have, there's 52 people on this call, so we're not going to get to answer everybody's specific questions. But what we're planning on doing over the coming weeks, both Connery and myself, Chad will be on as well, is we'd like to do smaller town halls like this. We'd like to set up one per conference where it'd be smaller groups. We can handle more of the Q&A after you guys have had a chance to digest the information, look into your travel logistics, and then you guys may find that you have questions or you have some concerns or you have some problems that you need us to help resolve. So that for us is going to be easier to do in a smaller setting. And I think doing it organizing it by conference will keep you guys kind of geographically regionalized. So a lot of I think the questions and the concerns will be similar, but look for those. We'll work through that schedule with Chad. And then over the coming weeks, again, prepare your questions. You guys will have our contact information coming from Chad, but let us know how we can help get you to the event, what questions you have about racing there, getting there, staying there. Again, anything that we can do to help. We really want to make this the biggest and coolest USAT Collegiate Club National Championship that has happened. So help us help you. And I think Tim or Chad, Connor, if I've missed any points, feel free to jump in.
I just want to jump in really quick and reiterate how important it is to share this information with your team and start planning ahead. It being around spring break is really cool because you can take that whole week and make it a training week and a trip to Miami. At the same time, going to Miami, if you're planning on flying, the flights are going to be higher price because it's all the way in Miami, and there's a lot of people probably going to the beach there for celebrating spring break. So make sure you're getting ahead of the game. Go book those flights as soon as possible, or figure out your bus rental and travel as well, and register as soon as possible. And don't be afraid to fly into other destinations in Florida or Atlanta or wherever and renting a car to make that trip down to Miami as well. Those are other options.
Yeah, Fort Lauderdale Airport is about an hour and 10 minutes north. Miami is your easiest option, but Fort Lauderdale has great options as well. And again, that's all the stuff that you guys have questions, reach out to Connery or myself. We are happy to help in any way possible.
The other thing I'll throw out there is that, you mentioned a lot of things, Andre and Connery, thank you for keying all that stuff up, is that there will be other activities that we haven't really discussed that are going to be really driven by you guys. What do you want to see happen? There's some ancillary things that we can do. We did some impromptu things last year. We 2 years ago we did Family Feud or Collegiate Feud, which is a fun interactive game show kind of activation that we did. We want to hear from you. Talk to your conference commissioners. Let them know some things you think would be fun for us to organize around this, and we'll be certain to get the team on that so we can get it teed up and get interest and get people to come down there. It's not just about racing. It's about having an incredible, fun opportunity to get to know teammates, get to know other athletes, other members of other squads. And so let's keep that in mind too, as you're talking about the opportunity to be in the Winnebago lot, as I would call it. Winnebago is more of a term that I grew up with. That would be really a fun situation for many people to be part of that, because as you mentioned, Andre, you put them all together and all of a sudden you have this bonfire for people from the same institution. You invite others over. This has the makings to be something very unique, and so we want you guys to be certain you can tell the stories to your younger athletes that maybe aren't making the trek to nationals the next year. If they don't make the trek this year, they need to be down there for all the reasons that we talk about.
Andre, I think Connery said somebody had a hand up. Dean, go ahead.
Yeah, so I've had people ask me about the race courses, and I haven't, admittedly, I haven't really been online to check them out. I'm just wondering if there's an adequate description of like the DL race and the Olympic race if we go onto the website.
We have a description of the courses. Maps are coming. Everything is sketched out in Google Earth detail. We're just waiting for the nice graphic versions. I can probably share out. Draft Legal will be the same courses we utilized for the World Triathlon events, the Continental Championship that we hosted this last March. So Draft Legal will be a 750-meter one-lap swim of the lake. It was a 5-lap bike course around the road course, so I think lefts and rights. And it was a 2-lap run course around the speedway for Draft Legal. All contained within the speedway. The mixed relay will be an iteration of that, again, all contained within the speedway, so super spectator friendly for those athletes that are not racing Draft Legal. You can either walk over from the RV lot, which is under a 10-minute walk, parking out front. So it'll be a very engaging course for Draft Legal and mixed relay. The Olympic distance, I know there'll be some questions on that. Swim in Homestead in Miami, it's a crystal clear spring-fed lake. There's actually one hole in the corner of the lake, goes down to about 50 feet, hits the aquifer. So the water bubbles out around 75 degrees year round. The surface water heats up a bit from there, but it's crystal clear. The bike course for Olympic distance will be a 2-lap course around Speedway property, kind of a series of some out and backs, but it is 100% closed to vehicle traffic. Which I think is pretty unique for us, which means the only vehicles you'll see out on Olympic distance race course will be other cyclists and USAT race officials on motos. So again, unique that we can completely close off those roads around the speedway and the surrounding parking areas to have a fair course. It's 100% flat. I'm not even going to say that there's a hint of a hill on the course. And then the run course for Olympic distance will be a 2-lap out back style course on Speedway complex property, which we're going to engage. There's a lot of resources at the Speedway. Those of you who haven't been there, there's hard restroom facilities, brick and mortar. So we will tote in porta potties, but it's nice to be able to use a toilet in the morning that actually flushes, as opposed to the blue splash you get in the porta potties. There's a number of water connections, so we're going to have misting stations throughout the run course. Post-event shower. So does that, Dean, kind of give a good course overview?
That's very, very helpful.
Andre, there is one question in the chat from Ryan Moose of Arizona State University. Are the stories in the spotlight, the Collegiate Athlete Spotlight, are the stories specifically for athletes going to nationals, or can they be from the clubs, the programs in general?
Any and all of it. Again, I'm not saying that every athlete has to fill out a story. I was not an interesting athlete in college, and I wouldn't fill out a story. But if you guys have something that you think we should know about, fill it out. We'll sift through it. And as I said, we have Blair, who's a industry expert on all that stuff, to get us, again, not just sponsorships, but media exposure. That's how we grow the sport. The more people that see young folks like you all doing triathlon, and that you can race triathlon and you don't have to give up your job and your family and your career to do it, that's going to help us grow the sport. So anything you guys think of that is interesting, or anyone on your team, or even your coach, or one of your professors, put that in there, please. And we'll use that to help elevate the status of this event.
Okay. One of the questions, Andre, is what are the expected temperatures for the time people are there?
So water temp should be in that 75 to 80 degrees. Again, it's spring fed, but if it's not a windy day, the surface water warms up in the sun. Highs end of March will be upper 70s to low 80s. Again, depending on time of day, it kind of warms up quickly, and that's why we'll be planning on having a lot of those misting stations or showers along the run course for folks to be able to cool off. And I think we have in that sheet that Connery has, I think there's average temps for March is plugged in there. It's going to be hot. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, guys. It's going to be a hot day, but we'll do everything that we can to mitigate that heat for you, and it'll be a good fair race for all of you.
Here's another question. Any possible discounts for family members and team members to race on the Sunday races?
You know, it's funny, we discussed that internally, and prior to the call, we don't actually have that set up yet, but that is absolutely something we would be interested and willing to do. And I guess we can kind of poll here roughly is if there would be athletes wanting to stick around and do the age group racing on Sunday outside of collegiate nationals. We are absolutely willing and able to do a massive discount for collegiate athletes who would want to stick around to race on Sunday, whether you do or not. But we'll kind of work through that. And yes, Connery will remind me, we'll put together a friends and family discount code for those racing collegiate nationals.
Says
I've got-
coaches
I've
must
got a
race
que-
on Sunday.
I got a question for Tim that might help everyone here, and that's, I can't remember the exact temperatures for wetsuits, since we're talking 75 to 80. Sounds like potential for non-wetsuit swims.
76 degrees. So and I don't know, Andre, if when you get
We've
more of an exact number on that, it sounds like it could be borderline for
Could be borderline, but this event will be 3 weeks later than we've typically hosted our Miami event. We have never had a wetsuit swim in Miami, so expect temperatures likely closer to 78 to 80. Again, the water bubbles out, but if it's not breezy, that surface water warms up fairly quickly. It's a small lake, and sunshine heats it up pretty quickly. It doesn't ever get crazy hot, which is nice because it's spring fed, so you're not going to be swimming in 90-degree water. But I would highly doubt that it would be a wetsuit swim with a 76 cutoff. And we're happy to send out kind of a water temp measurement, probably 1, 2, 3 weeks out. Folks at the Speedway staff can measure that for us pretty easily, so we can notify everybody before they travel, whether they do or don't need to pack. But I would doubt that they would need to pack wetsuits.
Hey, Andre, something that you mentioned, obviously, in your deck, the Miami airport option, the Fort Lauderdale airport option. Are there any other Florida cities that are a little bit further away that might offer even more affordable flight options for people?
West Palm is just a little bit north from Fort Lauderdale. Would probably be about 90 minutes, maybe 2-hour drive down to the Homestead Speedway. Orlando has a million options to get into that airport, and that's probably 3.5 hours from Orlando Airport down to Miami. And then again, a lot of I know East Coast and kind of Mid-East teams, road trip. If you guys are thinking about it, kind of tag team. I know different universities have different resources with team vans or trailers with what's available, but anything like that would come down, we have the ability to house those in parking areas. And again, we're fully planning on, with those RV lots, bringing in food trucks every evening to try and make it as easy on you all as possible. Let's see if there was more questions. Coaches, oh yeah, coaches. I would love to have the coaches race on Sunday. Yeah, so I have a question here from Ted. Can you store your bikes on site? Yeah, we will have a bike storage area. I think we'll work through exactly what those logistics will be with Pro Bike Express, but we'll have one of the chained in or fenced in lots, depending on how many trucks and bikes they transport down for us. So those bikes will be all under lock and key. And we discussed doing potentially a bike valet for other athletes. Again, it's going to be, we'll see how many athletes are staying in RVs. RVs, if you rent an RV, they all come with keys, so you can lock the door so you can keep bikes inside. But that's absolutely something we would entertain, is to have dedicated bike storage on site.
any course reviews that you're able to do, ride overs or drive overs to give athletes a chance to see one lap of the actual courses before they actually take place.
Yeah, we should be able to do that. I know we were 6 weeks out from Daytona will be slammed, but absolutely something we can do prior to. Be honest, it's a flat, fast course, out and back style. So as long as you all are good with your 180s for the Olympic distance, and then the draft legal. If you all know any of the athletes that raced the Continental Championship with us this last March, hit them up. But it's a sweeping course. It's a very tight road course for automobiles, but for bikes, it's a fairly sweeping road course. Lefts and rights, has a little bit of a dip in it, but yeah, it's courses are very good. RV rental price, I think for the RV spot outside of the RV rental itself, that's I think that is already posted on our website. And those are $200, and that is for athletes coming in. That's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's four nights for the RV spot rental. That includes all the power, the water, and the security on site. And again, something we mentioned we're going to do additional is some of the bonfires, towing the Jumbotron over to do the March Madness watch parties. We may do a movie night in the RV lot. Kind of, we'll see what the appetite is for everybody and what the March Madness schedule is, but we'll plan on doing a lot of fun stuff in the RV lot. And if you guys have any ideas or suggestions along the way, feel free to shoot them out to Connery or myself.
At some point, Andre and Chad and I have talked about this. We will want to try to get an athlete attendance estimate so that we have a pretty good feel for how many kids are coming down per each institution. So that's why we want you guys to have a pretty good handle on who's talking about coming down, even if it's a rough number. And that way we can kind of be ahead of the curve a little bit on activities that we're doing, on various things that we can do, what the demand's going to be for that, for other things like that too. So start thinking about that. Never too early to start having those conversations with your athletes.
Yep, and on that front, Tim, I know USAT shared with us historically the data. I know athletes will wait kind of towards to the last minute to sign up. You want to know if you're healthy, if you're fit, you're going to be able to travel. Prices do not increase for this event. It's flat price all the way through. But to Tim's point, it helps us produce a better event when we know what to expect a few weeks out, and we'll try to get a better gauge on that. Again, we'll work through with Chad, and we'll share out with you all a sort of town hall meeting schedule for the next few weeks, where we'll do breakouts with teams from each specific conference, so we can get a little more into the nitty gritty of your team's wants and needs and desires for this national championship.
Andre, this is Dean. When do you think, well, when would you want to have rough numbers from all the teams? Because as commissioners, we can send, emails out to our conference and try to get a commitment of a certain number. We did that last year, but it was more like January, February, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, ideally, Dean, if we had something by end of 2024, that gives us January, February, and March. I mean, the event is end of March, so that kind of gives us 2+ months. I mean, because we'll be sourcing t-shirts, swim caps, food order. There's a number of things that go into the back end, and we want to be able to, provide you guys with some really cool swag, something that you want to use over and over, and something that you guys can take back to your schools and show all your teammates that didn't make the trek what they missed out on. So if we can get kind of ballpark and we have numbers, results from USAT from the last few years, so we're on a pretty good track, but it helps us produce a better event when we know what to expect.
Hey, Andre, when you look at communications and look at webcasts and live streams like that, talk a little bit about that, what you're able to do and what maybe isn't necessarily on the schedule as of now.
Yeah, so what we're able to do, and then what our budget will allow us to do. So the nice thing is working inside of the NASCAR world is these facilities are plumbed with fiber optic cable and or telecom ports basically everywhere, because they NASCAR Productions, which is I think there's 14 Emmys that they have in our office building. They do some really amazing work. You guys would have seen them. They did the film work for the PTO championship in 2020. They've done our camera work for our Clash Endurance Pro events. So our capabilities are almost limitless with what we can do. But once you're getting into a 6-figure budget from a TV production, because you got 14 camera guys and cameras on booms and drones in the air and cameras on the back of trucks, it gets very expensive. At the minimum, what we're planning on doing is some static cameras throughout the venue for part of a live stream during the event. That doesn't mean that it's going to be a live stream of following the leader with leaderboard changes. So we'll be working through that. We will have live coverage, but it may be more static cameras. And then we're going to have a whole litany of posts throughout the day, kind of thing of shorts, quick. Hey, here are the athletes coming out of the swim. Here's the blip on Instagram and Facebook Live. Hey, here are the leaders coming off the bike. Here's the blip on Instagram, Facebook Live. So there'll be a content heavy machine pushing out stuff throughout the entire weekend. Again, as we have 2 separate races for draft legal male and female, all the different athletes racing for Olympic distance. And then we have the mixed relay on Saturday afternoon. So there's a lot of different races to cover. So we'll have a ton of content that will be pumping out as well. And then for those athletes interested or parents, Finisher Picks has been a partner of ours for years. So they'll be there on site taking photos of every athlete out on course for swim, bike, and run. So there'll be a number of image grabbing stuff that will be shared across our channels and USATs, other stuff that will be from Finisher Picks as the for sale side. And then again, kind of where we land budgetarily. And if you guys do a great job putting those athlete interest stories together and we can land a sizable sponsor, we can really expand the capabilities of what we're able to do from a live coverage and a streaming standpoint. So that's hence the help me help you guys.
There's a question about packet pickup and how will that work? Is it on site or virtual?
Yeah,
Will
so
there be
packet
multiple
pickup.
opportunities?
Yeah, packet pickup will be on site in the infield. We have a few buildings there. There's the media center, building 2, and then all the garages where we have our expo build out. We've worked through and discussed with Tim doing probably, 1 pickup for a coach or for a team, but there has to be a physical exchange, and packet pickup can't be virtual because you're getting your athlete wristband, which is your access to the transition and the swim, your bib numbers, your swim caps. There's just a number of physical items that have to exchange hands. So there will be an on-site packet pickup. We'll work through, in kind of the coming weeks, coming months, the exact hours for check-in, check-out times for, again, bike check-in will be part of it for Friday ahead of the Saturday morning Olympic distance. Trying to check in 1,000 bikes race morning is not an ideal scenario, nor is it really feasible to make sure everybody's racked correctly. So we'll have Friday bike check-in for the Olympic distance. So look for those details coming out in the coming weeks. But yes, there will be on-site packet pickup inside the infield. And if you're staying on site, super easy. If you're staying off property, parking in the green lot, which is on the north side of the speedway, from that lot, it's again about a 10-minute walk to get into packet pickup into the expo.
Connery had officially done a rain dance so that it would be similar to last year, so that you could pick your packets in the heavy rain. But I think we got her to stop the rain dance, so we should have perfect weather for us to do that.
Yeah, and well, packet pick, as I said, we have options with being able to move stuff into the garages, utilize the media center, driver meeting room. There's a number of other resources that we have. I know Chad and Tim know this, that we may do some, if there's some breakout meetings for the Collegiate Club Commission, we have facilities to be able to host those there on site, indoors in AC. So we're going to try to use every inch of the space that we have available to, accommodate as many things as we can collegiate triathlon wise.
Hey, Dean, if you bring anything under 60, we're going to be pretty disappointed.
We're going for 80.
That would be great.
I like the sound of that. Dean has a lot of conversations with us on that overall number and how we can hit that overall number. So he's making a commitment to doing what he can to help support that.
You know, and I know he's not on this call, but our owner Bill Christie is just an amazing guy, super passionate, triathlete, marathon runner. He's kind of the big reason why we have the keys to the NASCAR castle. But we get some of these big team engagements. I mean, he's likely to throw some kind of crazy party for the biggest team we have there, like a pig roast on site in the RV lot or something. So, like I said, we're really excited and anxiously awaiting some of the creative ideas that'll come out of some of the athletes and teams for what we can do to really engage with you all and make this a fun event for everybody.
Yeah.
Outside of what has historically happened at Collegiate Nationals, we just really want to elevate the bar.
Yeah. Cool.
So if there's any more questions, I'll guess Chad will give it 1 or 2 minutes. If any questions either come in the chat or verbally, and then we'll just plan on having you disseminate all the information to the clubs, and then we'll work on Connery, myself with you, Chad, to schedule out those conference meetings so we can get kind of one-on-one with the schools after they've had a chance to look at the event and the travel and the logistics information so they can formulate their questions.
Absolutely. And I know that Connery put her email address in here as well, but look for emails coming from her as well. I know that if it doesn't have a USA Triathlon email address, you might skip it over. So just make sure you're looking for those. Connery, what is that email address again?
It's going to be connery@clash-usa.com. I wrote it in here. I can type it again, but I'll send you guys a follow-up email. Don't worry.
Andre, and additionally to those conference-wide calls, I think it's a good idea possibly to have a call about a month out before the event just to go over race details, if that works for you as well. I know that just might help answer everybody else's questions as they're getting prepared to make that trip.
Yes, absolutely. We'll plan on, another kind of an all-wide conference town hall, and I know we'll be part of the Collegiate Commission calls on the coming months leading into the event, but wanted to make sure that everybody knows there's an open avenue for communication between you all and us directly, so we can help with any pain points for getting to this event and participating.
Okay. Chad, is that a wrap?
Yeah, like that's a wrap. Please share this with your team. Anybody that might be interested, let them know about the event so they have plenty of time to sign up. Again, club renewals are open right now. If you have any questions or issues with that, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. It's chad.cunningham@usatriathlon.org. And yeah, we're excited to see you guys in March this year in Miami. Thank you so much, Andre and Connery, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.